Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So within today's video, we are going to be talking about Mateu Alemany and him being asked whether they're going to continue to sign free agents in the summer of 2023. And so this is what the interviewer did ask Mateu Alemany earlier today. He asked, are you guys going to continue to sign free agents in 2023? And Alemany did say this, and I quote, "We have to focus more and more on the market of players who are free. This year, we have done it with Kessie, Christensen, Marcos Alonso, and Bellerin, and with many more to come." So look, this is true. Like the fact that Barcelona are going to be approaching 2023 with free transfers, they did a great job in the previous summer that we have just passed by. Like, we have strengthened our squad fully, and the depth is phenomenal when it does come to this current Barcelona squad, and the investment has been very minimal. And I do think that Barcelona are going to want to do it again because it did work within this season. We have so many players, and if there's any club that can pull off a summer where they only sign free transfers and they can still really strengthen the squad, it would be FC Barcelona, with Joan Laporta and Mateu Alemany taking the responsibility. We look at the list of players that are going to be on free transfers next summer. There is a lot that Mateu Alemany could work with, and surprisingly, you look at this list, we have been linked with many of these players. But I'm going to give you guys like the most possible top 4 players that we could encounter in the summer based off Barcelona's current needs and who we have been linked with. So the first player, it is going to be Skriniar. This has been a player that has been linked with Barcelona before. I would say he is like an extreme of what Eric Garcia is when it comes to ball distribution. The only difference though when it comes to like Eric Garcia and Skriniar, it is that this player here, he is much taller than Eric Garcia. But what's so fascinating about this center back is that he does not act like he's tall. Like, he acts like he's like 5'4", like 5'5". He moves very fast. His shift in his body is extremely quick, and I think that that would greatly help FC Barcelona within that defensive line. We look at the second player, and that is going to be Lionel Messi. This player is for sure going to be coming to Barcelona on a free transfer next summer of 2023. The work that has to be done though, just going based off what we have been hearing, is that Joan Laporta wants to work on building that relationship with Lionel Messi again after what did happen a few months ago. And so I just do not see Lionel Messi wanting to continue at PSG, knowing that Messi is going to be at the twilight of his career. Seeing his last 4 to 5 years, he's going to want to have one last run at Barcelona and bring glory and success back to this club by winning multiple Champions Leagues, multiple La Ligas. We move on towards the third player that is likely to come to Barcelona in 2023, and that could be Jorginho. And the main reason why I am going to be picking this player, it is because yes, Busquets is possibly going to be leaving in the summer of 2023. Yes, we have heard many reports about Busquets may be staying because Xavi does believe that Busquets is still at that level where he can still contribute at a very high level, but we never know. Xavi's going to want to strengthen that position regardless. Even though Jorginho is 30 years old, he's still going to have at least 3 to 4 years and great years to give out at top level. And throughout those 3 to 4 years, when he's 30 years old, or maybe even 31 by that time in the summer of 2023, we can work on developing a youth player to introduce him in the pivot position in the Barcelona's midfield. So he would be a great audition. Moving on towards the fourth player, and it could be Jose Gaya. Jose Gaya has been another player that has been greatly linked to FC Barcelona. Jordi Alba is not in the plans of Xavi's squad at the moment. Yes, I understand that we have seen Jordi Alba more than ever before in the past 2 to 3 games, but that is mainly because there has been so many injuries that has been going on in that defensive line. Like, Ronald Araujo is out, Kounde is out, Christensen is out. We even have Bellerin out, which is basically forcing Xavi Hernandez to use his last option, which is Jordi Alba. And I remember in the first 2 months, Alba was not even seen. Many were asking, is Alba still even a Barcelona player? Because all of our players were still there when it came to Kounde, Bellerin, Christensen, and many more. And seeing Jose Gaya at the prime of his career, if he comes to Barcelona at the age of 28 years old, that would be a great idea. He has been one of the best players for Valencia so far this season, and to see like a rotation and healthy competition go on that left back position between Alejandro Balde and Gaya, that would be amazing. I do see in the summer of 2023 Xavi saying, okay, I'm going to be using Alejandro Balde as my starter moving forward, and Jose Gaya coming in to this squad to compete with Balde, just so Balde does not get too comfortable in the left back position, something that did happen to Jordi Alba in the past 5 to 6 years. And now lastly, I'm just going to give everybody here a bonus on who we could see in the summer, and this is just maybe, right? He's just right outside of my list, mainly because I think that there's a huge factor that will dictate whether this player does come in, yes or no, and that is going to be Gundogan. I know that many of you guys do love Gundogan. He will be a great addition to the Barcelona's midfield, but I have a lot of trouble seeing Barcelona bring in Bernardo Silva and also Gundogan in the same summer. I just do not see that happening. Even though I think that Barcelona could afford to bring those two interiors in, I just feel like it'll be too overinflated within the midfield, because I also do not see Frankie de Jong leaving Barcelona next summer, even though I know that many are going to be coming out with reports and stories about Frankie going to Manchester United again. But Frankie is very committed to this Barcelona squad, and to see potentially Gundogan, Bernardo Silva, Frankie, Pedri, Gavi, Kessie, Pablo Torre, all of those players being within this squad, I just think that is just too much. We have to focus on just 5 total interiors and nothing more. I still think that Xavi's going to want to bring in Bernardo Silva in January 2023, and if not, in the summer of 2023, and we focus on our interiors being Bernardo Silva, Frankie, Gavi, Pedri, and then that extreme backup being Pablo Torre. But if Bernardo Silva does not come in, maybe for example, right, because we never know, Bernardo Silva says, I want to continue at Manchester City, I do not want to go to Barcelona no more, then of course it's going to increase the chances of Gundogan coming to this club, and he will fit perfectly within the interior position. He can also play as a central defensive midfielder in worst case scenarios, in case one of our central defensive midfielders do get injured. So again, there is a lot that Barcelona could work with. Mateu Alemany can really go for a lot of options. I know that there are other players that many of us do want to see like being linked with, like for example, many have been talking about Kanté or maybe someone like Asensio, which will be very surprising. I certainly do not see Benzema coming in at all, but there's a lot of material to work with, and we'll see what Mateu Alemany does next year. So now let's move on towards the next phase, and I want to get one thing very clear before we continue to move forward. Just because Mateu Alemany is going to go on the free transfer market next summer of 2023, right? I want to be very specific. That does not mean that Barcelona are not going to be signing and spending big next summer. I just do not see Barcelona not doing that. They will spend big. They're going to want to reinforce certain positions that is going to be requiring a lot of funds, which is what we are going to be discussing in this next video on who that player could be and what position does Barcelona want to strengthen that will be requiring a lot of money. But I do want to plug in my sponsor for today, and that is going to be the OneFootball app. If you guys want to find out how I do build these videos, if you want to follow a specific player, if you also do want to follow a specific team, you could set that up on the OneFootball app where they notify you immediately and live regarding your favorite team. So it could be Barcelona, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, Manchester City, or if you want to follow a specific player, whether it's Messi, Lewandowski, Erling Haaland, Kylian Mbappe, the OneFootball app is going to be there with great articles, update you on your phone. If something does happen in the world of football, it's a great, informative, entertaining app. If you do want to download the OneFootball app, you can so by clicking on the link down below on the pinned comment. It's also going to be on the description box down below. It'll take you straight to the app store. You download the OneFootball app, set exactly who and what you do want to follow, and then you'll be set and done from there. It is for free. You guys will greatly enjoy it. Let me know how it goes in the comment sections down below. But now let's go back into this video and let's talk about this next phase, because it does say here, according to Fabrizio Romano, Barcelona wants to sign a big right back in the summer. Now, like I have said, Barcelona are probably going to want to invest 95 million euros at the very minimum on a right back, because look, Belledin is a short-term solution. I think that Belledin will go back to his previous club. When it comes to Kounde, yes, Kounde could play in the right back position, but that would only be for like worst case scenarios. Like let's say 2 of our right backs do get injured, then yes, we put Kounde in that position. But having Kounde as the main center back with Araujo in that defensive line would work wonders. Having Kounde and Balde as the left back has only shown that Barcelona can play so much better when they have those 2 players specifically in their best positions, and especially when it comes to playing out from the back very quick. So I just do not see Xavi Hernandez saying that I'm going to be using Kounde as a right back 50% of the time. Every player needs to play in the correct position. So who could those players be? Like if Barcelona truly want to sign that big next right back next summer, what are the options? And it's going to come down to 3. It's either going to be Trent, Reece James, or Cancelo from Manchester City. Now, I'm not here to sell any dreams when it comes to like signing these right backs. There is no evidence when it comes to Trent, Reece, or Cancelo being linked to FC Barcelona. I just think that if Barcelona want to sign, again, like what it says on these reports, the next big right back, it would be coming down to these 3 players. And if we ever hear news about Barcelona being linked with these 3 players, it would be more about Barcelona approaching Cancelo or approaching Reece James or approaching Trent, then Trent or Reece or Cancelo asking the club if they could come to Barcelona. I just do not see that happening. It's going to be more about Barcelona approaching these players, and then we're going to have to basically just pray moving forward and just hope that one of those players do say yes. The only player that Barcelona has been linked with as of now, at this very moment, moment, it is going to be Diogo Dalot from Manchester United, who is a right back. He's 23 years old and he is from Portugal. So now let's move on towards the last phase of this video and let's talk about Alejandro Balde and Kounde, because we have to get a sense on how Barcelona is going to be approaching the next two games, because there has been some big updates. When it comes to Kounde, it does say here, according to Javi Miguel, that Kounde's chances for playing against Real Madrid are getting very complicated. He is already ruled out for the game against Inter Milan. So I know this sounds very contradicting, because the only thing that we have been hearing in the past 2 or 3 days is Kounde having great improvements on his fitness. He's going to be coming in for the match against Real Madrid. But now to hear this, like, has there been any setbacks, is very concerning. So it's going to be a huge loss for Xavi Hernandez if Kounde does not make it for, at the very least, in the match against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. Because if we want to maintain Vinicius successfully, we need someone on that right flank that does have pace and does have a lot of physicality within them. And the only player I can think of when it comes to like having like the best possible solution towards maintaining Vinicius, it would be Alejandro Balde, because it does say here, according to Sport, that Alejandro Balde has a high chance of being the starting right back in El Clásico, which does make a lot of sense, because like who else is going to be playing in that position? Bellerin is not going to be there. He's injured. Kounde is injured, and we have no other solution. Like, if you were to come over here and tell me that Eric Garcia should be playing as that right center back, I just do not see that happening. The only thing I see happening is Barcelona conceding about 2 or 3 goals from that side, like Eric Garcia being pushed against the wall and getting clapped by Vinicius. There's just no way. I'm just going to keep my faith on Alejandro Balde because of what he did against Celta. He played okay, very solid as a right center back against Celta, and I do expect Xavi Hernandez to continue to work with this player in order for him to understand his role. But more about this is going to be talked in the pre-match previews when it comes to Inter Milan versus Barcelona and Real Madrid versus FC Barcelona. So that is going to be wrapping up today's Barcelona daily news. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.